Tonight, new charges filed in the death of One Direction star Liam Payne and prosecutors detailing what happened in the singer's final hours. 4 hotel staffers and one of Payne's friends now facing criminal charges of manslaughter and supplying drugs to the singer. Remember, the 31-year-old died back in October after he fell from a 3rd-floor balcony at a hotel in Argentina. And there are still a lot of unanswered questions about what exactly went wrong. Let's get to Meagan Fitzgerald in London for us. Meagan, what are the judge and prosecutors saying about Payne's final hours?
Yeah, so we're learning a lot of new information here. Now, according to, the judge and prosecutors, we understand that Liam Payne was demanding drugs and alcohol throughout his stay, that at one point he was unable to stand, and this was in the moments leading up to his death. We understand from the judge that he should have been taken to a safe place instead of taken back to his hotel room. We're learning that his friend was in the room for nearly an hour. And again, the idea here is that he was not in a state, according to the judge, to be able to be left on his own. He should have been taken to a safe place, and a doctor should have been called. Now, you pair this, of course, with the autopsy and the toxicology reports that we've received. And we understand that he had traces of alcohol, of cocaine, prescribed antidepressants in his blood. We understand that it appears as though this was not a suicide. There wasn't someone else who pushed him over the balcony, and that when he fell in such a way, according to these reports, that he didn't protect himself. So the idea here is that he was unconscious, going back to what we heard from the judge in saying that he should have never been left alone.
Meagan, what kind of punishment could come with these charges, and when could we see all of the accused in court?
Yeah, we're talking about some really serious charges here. 3 people are being charged with negligent homicide. That's something that carries up to 5 years in prison. And then 2 people are being charged with supplying Payne with drugs. Now, they could face up to 15 years in prison. The judge has ruled, as is law in Argentina. The judge has decided that this is going to go to trial. Now, of course, these defendants have the opportunity to appeal this. If they lose that appeal, it will go to trial. And again, we will all be waiting and watching what comes out, because prison time is most certainly on the table here.
And as far as the 5 people charged, are we hearing anything from them, from the accused?
At this point, they're not speaking out. We know, of course, that as is the case usually when we have charges against people, that they're advised to remain silent. But they're saying that they're innocent. And again, I think it's very likely that we'll see them appealing the judge's decision on not going to trial on these charges. But again, serious charges here. We've got a very popular singer here who has died. So this is most certainly something that the world will be watching closely.
All right, Meagan Fitzgerald, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.